grain hubs on the continent with our partners, accusing Russia of using hunger and social instability as a tool of political pressure. The African leaders are not idiots, and they know exactly who's behind you, my friend Zelensky. I guarantee you that. And listen to this thing right here. There's obviously some deliberate misinformation, I'm quoting, being spread here. And quote, Ramaphosa's spokesman Vincent Magwenya said later told South African media, adding that the delegation didn't hear any explosions or see any out of the ordinary.
The president arrived in Kiev safely by train, along with other heads of states and government who were part of the African leaders' peace mission to Ukraine and Russia. I would like to assure all South Africans that there has been no compromise whatsoever to the president's safety as a result of the impasse that involved the charter flight with the Presidential Protection Services team and the media. We acknowledge the regrettable nature of that incident. Our officials are engaging with their Polish counterparts to resolve the impasse so that the PPS team as well as the media can proceed with their journey as planned, as well as be able to cover at least the Russian leg of the peace talks.
But indeed, the delegation of the African leaders will be received in Russia on Saturday. They will be coming to Russia's second largest city of St. Petersburg. And according to Russia's presidential aide, Yuri Ushakov, the delegation will indeed be discussing everything in the meetings on Saturday. We don't know whether Russia has received any documents with the peace proposals. Moscow says they will be discussing everything in person, but indeed...
Look what's happened here. This obviously comes from Russia Today and is from June 16, 2023. Zelensky offers zero flexibility to African leaders. Ukraine's leaders has again rejected the offer to mediate an end to the conflict. The same thing they did with the Chinese, with the Indians, as I say, with the Philippines, with the Vatican, with the Hungarians, with everybody. Why? With Brazil, because they want the only thing their way. And, well, that means you don't want to negotiate.
What is it with African leaders? They are being disrespected. They are still being disrespected. But they are still in Ukraine and they are still in Russia.
President Cyril Ramaphosa and other African heads of state are in Kiev. This is ahead of their meetings with President Vladimir Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir
Putin. Offers zero flexibility to African leaders. Ukraine's leaders has again rejected the offer to mediate an end to the conflict because they want the only thing their way. And, well, that means you don't want to negotiate. Ukrainian, I hate when these guys say Ukrainian president. I would say President of Ukraine, that's how I would introduce this guy. Zelensky brushed off the African Union Peace Initiative on Friday, insisting there can be no negotiations with Russia. Then why did you bother to visit? I tell you why. Because all these guys here, they were invited to the show to visit this location, that location, so they say, oh, Russians bad, we good. The high-ranking delegation, led by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, visited Kiev and is headed to Moscow next. And I'm quoting, I said clearly and many times during our meeting today that allowing any talks with Russia while the occupiers are still on our land means freezing the conflict, the pain and the suffering. End quote, Zelensky said at a press conference afterward. According to
earn $1,000 today and then $1,000 a day, you will only need 5 minutes and my team will do the rest. Yes, you heard me very well. In less than 24 hours